Hey guys, it's Viewmasters Reactions, and we're back with some more Legend of Vox Machina comparison videos to the original Campaign 1 live action. This one dealing with Grog and Craven Edge. I typed in to get a thumbnail on Grog and Craven Edge. There isn't a lot of choices, and I already used 2 other ones for different videos. This one kept coming up, and I realized it is the statue from Sideshow. This is literally the Grog statue. Pretty badass, especially since we just saw the Legend of Vox Machina episode 9. I think it was 9. Mighty 9. I'm pretty sure that episode had him get shot with like 2 or 3 arrows in the back. He is literally covered in arrows here. Shot all over the place. Looks insanely jacked out of his mind. This is about a 15-minute video. The dude JB sent me this link. He said, watch it from 45:05 to the conclusion. It ends at 60 minutes, like 4 seconds shy of 60 minutes. It's going to deal with Grog and Craven Edge. To what extent, I don't know. He did say it is right after the fight with the Sphinx. He also said there was no fight with Umbrasyl. He said we are not to the Fey world yet. We're all together still as a group. Also, Grog is extremely exhausted because of the fact that Craven Edge isn't allowing him to sleep. So he's given like superior strength and other things, but also not doing so well in other areas. Either way, let's just jump in. We got 15 minutes. I'll talk more at the end. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. If the link doesn't work, in the description of every video, we got every episode of The Legend of Vox Machina seasons 1 and 2 up in full. We got the Patreon hour exclusive for every episode of Campaign 2. Live streams on Friday. They start at 7:45. We will be finishing episode 50 regardless this week. But if we get 50 or more likes, we'll jump right into 51 for 30 minutes. Maybe more. Who knows? Hundreds of other shows. Peaky Blinders, Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Death Note, Legend of Korra just started all these shows, hundreds of exclusives. Patreon link in the description. If not, comparison video to Grog and Craven Edge from Campaign 1. Oh.
How is Pike?
Yeah, Pike, are you alive?
Yes.
Still in a relatively damaged state post-battle. You guys haven't had really a moment to.
So this is jumping around.
Heal,
I thought it was going to be one straight video.
She seems to be okay. There's I'm that lingering sweat from the stress and the impact of the blade.
I'm really sorry about that.
Hey, it's okay, Grog.
Yeah.
I know you didn't mean to.
No, I didn't. I was like floating away. You should have seen the inside. It was just like wind everywhere.
It sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, well, what would my buddy Pike do? She would take the sword and attach a chain to it, throw it through the door, and then...
You were the door, and then you were the door.
Grog, I'll be fine.
Yeah, but you're my best buddy.
Oh, Grog.
So we are taking a short rest?
Yeah.
It's up to you guys.
I like how
Burn a couple
quickly
Shorty rest.
they made up in the
Everyone
campaign.
Yeah. Yes.
In the episode, it legit looked like
so
he
I
killed
lose
her.
all the buffs.
I mean, we've seen it. I actually, in the show, it got put together pretty
So
quick.
as you guys are taking a rest, you kind of step a little bit away from the group, sit down, and just kind of hold the blade, chain still attached across your lap, and just kind of look down at it. And you can see it's like still pulsing with the power of all the life energy that it had taken before. And as you take a moment and kind of see to your wounds and relax and kind of, recover from the intense rage and all the emotional pain that's transpired here, the blade begins to shrink. You hear the slight crackle as the metal begins to creak and pull back.
Of everybody,
all the jagged
Laura
edges
looks the most
pulling
different.
into the central
She just looks
singular
like
curved
so
blade
much
in front of
younger
it.
than everybody
As it
else.
hits, it
here.
seems to almost shrink slightly smaller than it was before, and the metal creaks for a second, and a voice in your head goes, "No, hungry." Make a Constitution saving throw.
Sorry, I just have to steal his strength.
Natural 20.
No way. Natural 20.
For but a moment, you sense a very similar feeling. One that it's been really
Look at the
since the
size of
battle with
Sam's mug.
Craven,
Whatever you'd call that.
when all of the light in the world vanished for a second and darkness took your consciousness. And that same cold sensation, it starts to stem from the blade itself, like it's actually trying to pull you into it
So
you
it is
resist it.
definitely
And you stand there
consuming
and look at
him
the blade
in
and
some
just-
fashion.
Comparison to its larger form, it looks small. It's the same size it was since you originally got it, but you look at it there, and this long, still silence as you try and conjecture what just transpired. And in that silence, you hear the voice once again go,
So I'm wondering if he breaks it in the same fashion we saw on the show. Because now Pike got
Have anything
stabbed.
to feed you.
Find something.
All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right. What is he gonna?
What?
Who are you talking to, Grog?
I'm so hungry. My stomach's rumbling.
so as you can.
Do I get a level of exhaustion back or no?
No, long
I
rest for your
apologize.
exhaustion.
I am like, I can't clear my throat.
That sword is an asshole.
That sword is an asshole.
Be honest.
That should have been a
Should have been a disadvantage.
Roll again.
Oh, fuck. No.
Do it.
What?
Do it.
You have to roll again?
He's
Well, it's
exhausted.
on. Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh God, what happened? Oh my God, tell me it
What
was.
is
You're
it?
lying.
one. It's a
You're
one, isn't it?
lying.
He rolled a 1.
You are lying to me.
Odds? What are the odds?
Is it actually?
It giveth and it taketh
5%
away.
both times.
Everybody roll for initiative.
No joke, though.
As you guys finish your rest, and you're all gathering the
How
next stage
crazy
of
is
your
that?
advancement, you watch as Grog stands up and starts walking into the snow of the forest, with the blade out, topples and falls to one knee, then falls face first in the snow.
Grog, I run over to him.
We all run out. We run out.
Yeah.
I love how I think it was Laura goes, "What are the
Still?
odds?" And he's like,
It's cold.
5%.
There are
Exactly.
no signs of life.
Heal, heal.
I grab the sword and I take it off of his away from him, off of his person.
Grog still rolled on his back, eyes just dead, lifeless.
Okay.
Totally different
Pike, is it
than
the
the show.
sword? Is it the sword?
I feel like it's the sword. I mean, we all know that sword has been weird.
Can you greater restoration?
In the
Yes,
show,
he
he
made
just
a greater
broke it.
restoration.
I mean, he's clearly still
Grog,
affected
though
by
you
it.
are having a hard
physically.
time coming to terms with it in the back of your head, there's a part of you that knows that right now, Grog in the snow is dead.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing the sword and taking it to a corner and I'm going to stare at it for a second.
So as we know it right now, Grog
Wait,
is dead.
I have
in
Revivify.
the snow.
Okay.
Such a creature that has
Way
died.
different.
Like a
Within
minute.
the
Yeah.
last minute.
Has it been a
It
minute?
hasn't been a
It
minute
just
yet.
did it. It just happened.
It's really.
Go ahead and roll an initiative check.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Can I whisper? Can I assist with a whisper to the sword?
Sure.
Can I inspire her?
Sure.
Sure. Sam inspired, or
I just hold her hand and I look in her eyes and I just say, please, Pike, please, I love him as much as you do, and please.
Okay.
You get to his body and
inspired, and we are.
with his back rolled in the snow, looking up. Just as that window of time begins to fade for the magic to have any effect, you reach down and you grasp his cold-muscled chest, and you find the one singular thread, that little soul thread that's still connected to the essence of his eternal being that once resided within this corpse. And you clutch onto it with the magic and hold onto it to begin this ritual. As you're certainly staring at the sword,
I was going to say something to it.
what do you say to it?
If I were you, I'd put it back, or else it will be the last meal you ever eat, for as I will find an abyss so deep and so far you will never taste a drop of blood again.
Hey, that's
the shadow begins to
if the sword can
bleed from the
understand
blade
and
rise
hungers,
up
it
with
will understand that.
Seems almost like an incensed fury from your words. However, you also hear a raging scream bellow from inside the blade, a familiar yell echoing and distant.
I'll start summoning my own fucking mist, man. I'm not fucking intimidated by this shit.
Your shadow begins to rise over your back as well, as it begins to coalesce these two
look at
black
Sam.
centers of dark energy facing off in wordless anger and lack of understanding. The
Look at everyone
arm
watching
of
what's
Grog's
happening.
body grabs you by the throat and just starts clutching it as it lifts up and looks you in the face, eyes red with rage, going. Roll a strength check.
What? This is
He manages
way
to close off
different.
the windpipe just for a short moment, but in that time, the red fades from his eyes, and the first inhale of breath comes into Grog's chest. And your vision clears, and the moment of confusion hits you as you look around and notice this tiny gnome in your grip, head beet red, as you notice that your thumbs are pressed into his larynx.
No. What'd you do to me?
What'd you do to me?
Nothing.
What the fuck is that sword, Grog?
Gave you some ale.
What just happened?
What's with you and gnomes today, man?
Yeah, you just stab Pike and choke. Well, we know.
I don't know. What? Why am I down here?
Grog. How many fingers am I holding up?
9.
I think it's him.
Nine.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Grog, you
My
died.
God.
Holy
What?
shit.
You were dead. You fell over dead.
What? When?
Pike saved you.
Where's
Pike
your
brought you
sword,
back.
Grog?
My sword is. Where is my sword?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not your sword anymore.
What do you mean? Where is my? Where's Craven
You
Edge?
sit up and glance over, and you see about 15 feet from you, set up against the bottom of a tree, the blade is currently being crouched over by Percy, his fingers tense, his shoulders and back arched and locked, and you see two shadow sources that are almost on their own subtle plane having a stare down.
Hey.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I mean, he's obviously messing with other people's property, and I walk over to the sword.
No!
I run over and I block it. I stand next to Percy and I block the sword.
What do you do?
Yeah, I walk over and I
I'm
stop
pulling
Grog.
out daggers and standing behind my sister. Grog. Grog, let it go.
Let what?
This has been something on
You're
the
not
tip of our
touching that
tongue for weeks. Let it go. Whatever that thing is fucked. Let it go.
But it's my sword.
Good try casting great restoration on the sword.
But it's my sword.
I might be able to banish it.
Can you do that?
Well, that's a bit strong, don't you think?
And it's only for...
Okay, look, if you get
That's a
bumped off
bit
a horse,
strong,
right,
don't
you
you
don't kill the horse, you just train it up a bit. Like, let's just work
I
with
love
the
that you-
sword.
Horses don't try to steal your soul, Grog.
Who owned the...
I can use it on Kevdak.
It can use you on Kemdak.
Kevdak has the Titanstone knuckles. It's a vestige that we're looking for, right? It's gonna be a hell of a fight, and this is a hell of a sword.
He's got a vestige.
Grog.
He's still just him.
The sword just fucking killed you, you dummy.
The sword didn't make you
Oh,
Grog.
but okay, hold on, Pike. You know I'm not, like, scared to death. Right? I would die by a dragon, I would die by a beholder, and I wouldn't care, like, as long as it was a beautiful death. But I don't want to die from Kevdak. Not him.
Oh, by Kev, it can't be Kevdak.
We'll find you a better
Uncle
weapon.
Kevdak.
I don't want you to die from
A sword.
something that's not worth it.
Yeah, come on. He's saying it's worth the risk. He's basically saying it's worth it.
Fine. Do what you want with it.
He wants so badly to beat
Don't
Kevdak
need it.
that he's basically saying
Alright.
the sword could
Should I
take
take
me
the
after.
banishes
As long as I accomplish this goal, the
Banish
sword
the
could
thing
take me.
forever?
It's called plane shift. I
There's a
can
side
shift it
poster
into its
giveaway.
own little pocket dimension where it will stay and nothing else can get to it.
I think I'm perfectly content with it being
I like
someone
it.
else's problem.
All right.
As you step forward and the shadow begins to emanate from the blade,
Star Wars
you
music.
focus and concentrate. And as you do, the light of Serenity begins to glow from the front of your hand. As it does, the shadow seems to be cast away. And the blade now stands currently bare before you. You reach out and touch the blade. You
ready,
recite a
Keelan.
few words under your breath and release the energy of the spell into the sword. Go ahead and make a wisdom check.
Yeah, 26.
As you reach out and touch the blade, you can feel suddenly the dark, chaotic presence in there. You see flashes in your mind of an individual, an ancient person. You see a person making a deal with something it didn't understand. You see a flash of a punishment. You see the remnants of their eternal soul bound to a blade. You see themselves cursed with eternal,
Is it someone we know?
gluttonous, unending hunger, and cast through the ages, the rest forgotten. And you see, just like the singular thread that was holding Grog to his corpse, a dark, dark thread that connects the sword to Grog. And with this spell, you grasp out and clutch it and
Rip it.
tear it in two. Grog, wherever you're standing, it's like you just got punched in the gut. You're thrown off your feet and land in the snow once again, eyes wide open. All of you freak out because it's just like how Grog fell originally, except for he shoots up, heavy breathing, alive.
Way cooler, in my opinion. That was way
Grog?
cooler than the show. The show just had him snap it in a
Fucking
rock.
blade ate your soul.
What?
You wonder this entire time how you could be so foolish to give in to something that this whole time has been using you.
How could I have been so foolish? This whole time, that fucking blade has been using me.
Pike, I reach out and I plane shift it to the pocket dimension of the Dread Emperor.
Okay, you reach out and you pick up the blade, and as you grab it in your hand, you can hear the voice. I will. And before I can finish the phrase, you guys watch as a little thin slit between the planes just shutters open, and you have a quick glance of what looks like that distant starscape with various broken, slowly floating islands of earth and rock. You throw the blade through this small doorway, and it's
Eat
kind
it,
of
Craven Edge.
Reminds me of
Yeah,
Doctor
I'm
Strange.
not craving bacon anymore.
it slams shut.
I'm not
And he's
craving
gone.
bacon anymore.
Well,
Reminds me of
fingers crossed nobody gets it.
Doctor Strange
Oh,
when
it's-
Charlize Theron ripped
So there was
behind
a
the
dagger
hole
that came with it.
with the thing.
What?
What?
I'm fucking with you.
All right, guys, awesome. That was so different from the show. In my opinion, way cooler, but I have to assume they didn't have the time. There's only so many things they could include. We only have 3 episodes left. They come out in a couple days. It is Monday night. We have 3 days less because it's already like 10 o'clock at night on Monday. Less than 3 days. The final 3 episodes of Legend of Vox Machina. In one of the first episodes, we got Pike all right because in the show, it was a little worse. In this, I feel like Pike got run through, but took 30, 40 something damage, something like that, and was like, don't worry, buddy, I'm good. In this, it seemed a little worse, but we got her back. We were good. And then the sword got shoved into the rock and he snapped the blade. End of story. That was like pretty much it. I mean, there was an explosion of blood and he got thrown back and, you know, it was a little more than just snapping a blade and end of story, but nothing like that. There is so much cool shit going on there. Percy going over and basically having a stare down face off of shadowy entity spirit realm things. I don't know exactly the full extent of Percy. All I know of Percy is from season 1 and 2 of this. And what you guys send me, whatever is not spoilerific comparison videos. We've seen a lot of him, obviously, in season 1 and what he's capable of. Percy goes over, starts having a showdown, like a face off with this blade. And I thought, like, how much is this going to actually work? Is it actually going to be something? And others are seeing like a shadowy face-off. Matt does this crazy description of how this blade goes back however far it did. And there's a dude that made a pact, and I'm guessing that was the first dude that got latched onto the blade. Who was it? I thought we were going to find out it was somebody of specific importance back in time. But regardless, I feel like it might. Grog was one of the dudes that made a deal. Each one is a thread connected to somebody. And the spell snapped the thread, gut punch Grog. Grog did die. See, that didn't happen either. They're basically saying at a point, Grog was dead. This thing consumed his soul. And basically, without our friends doing what they did, I don't think he would have made it. I don't see how he would have come through unless he just went into like a bloodthirsty rage again and like zombie walked to something and ate it and then he got back. I don't know. Something might have happened, but it doesn't matter because that happened and it all got fixed. He then realizes, what am I, crazy? What am I trying to do? Like, obviously the blade was possessing him, consuming him, making him act crazy. He's exhausted. He's been up for days. And this thing is basically like his best friend in his own mind right now. So we got rid of the blade in the cooler of ways. How much time could they have focused on Craven Edge. I mean, we could probably have 100 hours of just Craven Edge lore, and they have 25 minutes each episode, 3 episodes a week, 12 episodes total to do all this. I dig it though. I dig the comparison because it shows how close Grog was actually to death. Where in the show, right now, basically the only thing he's got to deal with is the fact that he's emaciatedly skinny because the sword sucked all the strength out of him from him not giving it what it wanted and the blood being drained out and him snapping the blade so it took everything out of him. He's got to rest up. He's got to do his thing in the show at least. But another very cool thing, way different, Keyleth opens a portal and sends it to another plane of existence. The astral plane or whatever the heck it is sends the freaking sword over there. So I got to assume something becomes of the sword at some point. I don't know who's over there or what's over there. I'm assuming it's safer. At least it's out of our way and Grog will be okay. I'm going to edit this up. I'm going to jump into some other videos. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in the description below or in front of me possibly. Right now you might see it or click on it. Hundreds of shows, hundreds of movies, Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Legend of Vox Machina seasons 1 and 2 up in full. The Patreon hour exclusive of every episode of Campaign 2. We're doing episode 50 Friday. We're finishing it. If we get 50 likes or more on the video, we go right into episode 51. We've done it. I think 3 weeks in a row now. We've hit 50 likes or more. Breaking records over there, so come join us. Hundreds of other things. Check it out. Patreon link at the bottom. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.